Say family. Me love me family, them to me heart. You do the earth, one of them real kill it, they to the end, they from me start. Real better them. But them no know when we a buy 3 sardines and 1 pound of rice from shop. And them no know when we a get chased by cops and mac and the hand job. And I know man make it now. No struggle feel. I mean know all of them. I know we now make them trick me and kill me. Oh way they must. Life are the greatest thing that me no let go, now me no let my God. Can't trick me and kill me. No way you must be mad. Life are the greatest thing that me no let go, now me no let my God. And me energy them want deep. When me see it clear, say them a mango. Them know say that you tell your friend, they no play like rhythm and blues. Man loyal, too loyal. Someone with his think of like go trial. Informer want judge up me one trial. Them days that me don't just no boy nor girl. Me don't know if them means real, but me know fear pop and no every man real. Some boy I don't in a clean, them no want see a next youth living. The evil and demon, them can't stand me in every island. Anytime me a drive on my van, big fat matic in a me right hand. Now make them trick me and kill me. No way you must see. Life are the greatest thing that me no let go, now me no let my God. Can't trick me and kill me. No way you must. Unruly, brave and strong, them can't ever get rid of we. Holy for real, you me see them try tie down, know them can't tie down me. Man boss way and rich now, them like can't tie down. Unruly we not feel. Tell them we not fail, them how we forgot jail. Nah be no jailer. Father God, me thank you for watching over me. Father God, watching over me. Forgive me if me never live easy. No love for me I live. Oh, me keep up with the challenge. My quiz. I fall in the biz. Why? Nobody feel like man weak. Try through your beak. And big believe me know about the street. No, me shot like LeBron and them shot like O'Neal. And my shoes and my clothes, them real. Just reveal wonder how the haters them feel. Unruly we not feel. We forgot jail. Pop skull now be no jailer. Father God, you for watching up. Father God, me thank you for watching over me. Money a flow like Pontax and Harmony. Flowing right. Roll out with the Benz in the day, in the night of the black spider. Me, reach with the sky and dry. Me no worry about bad mind, cause me know she fast and bright. No me run and them shock like me. Living like true, just wonder how that's them. Only I feel. Tell them we no fail, them want we forgot jail. I put now be no jailer. Father God, me thank you for watching over me. Father God, me thank you for watching over me. See no start the building from Bill Unruly. We take pain like a pill. The world wants see me no have time to chill. Cause go and check off a mill. US that. When them ask why them a stage show me kill. Kiki bank book in a like me. Plus my shot like LeBron. Like on who's real. And when I live in legend and the truth just reveal, wonder how the haters them feel. Unruly we now. Tell them we no fail, them want we forgot jail. Pop skull now be no jailer. Father God.
What himself?
Are the youngest lad.
Johnny. Them can't stand way. Vendetta.
The struggle only make you better. Them right we off like a letter, but we still set up. The pain all the fight, all the hate, all the lies to me, not somebody who me love. Push me another time, never sing another rhyme. Cut me now, you good and lost in the blood. Ready up again, pain and heartbreak. Shut me in night for my love. All of me experiences, things when me got through for real, build me up as a top. Why say them but why nine game? Me not have time to chase me, shoot it out one time. I say me love the girl, man, the matter is sexy and clean. But me never name nothing when I cook in a canteen. Do me see me all the while, what make you do not run in? Chat alone, I'm after my internet name. Full keep out of the party, well, madam me. Nothing personal, I just how we let us stay. Let me tell you, the pain, all the fight, all the hate, all the lies to me, not somebody who me love. Push me another time, never sing another. Me know you good and I see no blood. Ready up again, pain and heartbreak. Shut me night for my love. All of me life experiences, things when me got through for real, build me up as a top. Tell them all the while I start weighing up prepare. If violate me, I have to go beef up your security. I've only leap a girl, but none of them me not swear for. Some of them can never call them back, now them hate me. That I'm not proud of. But I am the alpha, can't rise against me when I'm here the rock at Gibraltar. But sometimes me feel like the world against Alka, but me accept the world, me and the money with salsa. The pain, all the fight, all the hate, all the lies to me, not somebody who me love. Push me another time, never sing another rhyme. Cut me now, you good and I see no blood. Ready up again, pain and heartbreak.
Have a producer on it.
Ambassador Music.
You know, sister, we are create waves like the ocean, yeah. When you're there, better than your son, loud explosion, and we make the commotion, yeah. They even dance with them, watch we have emotion, deep and we slow down, yeah. We do it first, got them soft like lotion, and waves like the ocean, yeah. When I never see a phone sound, never see a phone sound strong. Never the time for rely on people to make my move, and never saw me grow up. And I know say me hype, I know you're probably right, but if you don't have no pride, I guess anything goes. Me I live my life telling me I'm one. I used to be that little kid, now I am the grown up. Think my life it's all up, broken it. Did that talent, but never have no luck, so bro. Before I get laid off, now have no up. Did I fit on a man from there, so now my life's feel like a donut. You know I wouldn't change a thing. No, choose the ample lose a couple times before you win. Oh yeah, I pop bottles, pop models. Put my story out happy and like the novels. Yeah, you know kill I'm eating apples. I look out from the sea, I show me youth them how would we create waves like the ocean. Yeah, when you're there, better than your son, loud explosion, and we make the commotion. Yeah. They even dance with them. Watch we have emotion, deep and we slow down. Yeah. We do it first, got them soft like lotion and waves like the ocean, yeah. Never see a phone sound, never see a phone sound strong. Never see a phone sound. All over the world, them a wait me banana. Fans a come out and a support me and a bad mind. I wonder what's so special with a man, yeah. If man follow me out of the mountain. Man for the mission, yeah. You know that. Go for the crown, king. Man for the mission, yeah. Fire in the rain, done the tell you what we name. I'm the boy and you can get me energy for drain. Start the potion, cut the matic, watch it. Ready for the aim, me spend it. Every palm I watch, me spend it. Every palm I drain, me step it. God in me heart more time, the in my brain, me thank me. Mad every day, not dash it. Belly in the drain, we never. Shaking at the sunshine, dog me. Steady in the rain, the mount of girl, the mount of career. When me shell in the game. Greatness, say clean, I'm moving again, me. Step in the plane again, me. Get rid of the plane again, me. Take lead of the game. Jet scheme, I'ma get she and I bestie when I lame. All of fame, picture tech, and them nine of the frame. Man, for the mission, yeah. Go Go for the crown, king. Yeah. Strap on my belly, top of the mountain. Can't count me out, them know I'm counting. All it for money too. While I'm me out, I do mountain. Man for the mission, yeah. You know that. Go for the crown, king. Man for the mission, yeah. Fire in the rain. Done the tell you what we name. I'm the boy can you can get me and you're the drain. Start the potion, cut the matic, watch it. Ready for the aim, me spend it. Every palm I watch me spend it. Every palm I chain, me step it. God in me heart more time. The vein in my brain, me thank me. Mad every day, not dash the belly in the drain. We never shaking at the sunshine dog me. Steady in the rain, the mountain girl, the mountain career. When me shelly in the game. Greatness say clean, I'm a vein again me. Step in at the plane again me. Get rid of the pain again me. Take lead of the game. Project scheme, I'ma get she and our bestie when I live all of them. Protect and nine of the frame. Man, for the mission, yeah. Cause for me, suck my strong, for me, step on, yeah. No, them never plan for me, live on, yeah. You can't cancel my vision, yeah. Sure.
Good night, everyone. My name is Bruce McDonald, President of the Chancellor Uplifting Brothers Society, and I want to say welcome to what is the second night of our Youth Empowerment Conference series under the theme Building and Shaping Men of Tomorrow. And we'll begin tonight with the playing of the national anthem.
The pride, resilience of Jamaica. Museum, we pay on Jamaica, our culture, and our history.
Okay, sorry for that delay. We'll now move on to prayer by Mr. Tavan Bolgin.
Yes, so
Mr.
all right,
Bolgin, the
thank you,
floor is
Mr.
yours.
Bruce. So good night, everyone. So if you would please close your eyes for prayer. So, most righteous, eternal God and our Father, I want to thank you for another night. It's nothing that we have done to deserve your grace and your mercies. I pray that as we commence our second night in our youth empowerment forum, that you will remember the presenter tonight. I pray that the information that will be carried out, that each and every one of us here will be, it will benefit all of us. I pray that you remember the presenter in helping him to actually bring across information in a very understandable manner. I pray tonight, dear Lord, that at the end of tonight's forum, that we can all say it was very much good to be here. And at the end of this week's forum, we can all say it was very good to be here. So bless us one and all. I tell you thanks. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen, indeed. And once again, I want to say welcome to the second night of the Chancellor Hall Youth Development Conference, which is under the theme Building and Shaping Men of Tomorrow. Last night would have been our first night with our first guest speaker, Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton. And well, I can speak personally that last night I left feeling empowered, and I am sure that there are others who have felt the same way. So I want you guys to go on into the comments, let us know how last night's session was, what do you expect of tonight and for the rest of the week. And I know that there may be persons here who tonight is their first night, and just a rundown of the activities for the week. So as I said before, last night was our first night, November 16, and this event will run up to November 19, which is recognized as International Men's Day. Because years before, we would have recognized International Men's Day on only November 19th, but this year we saw it to basically do it over a 4-day period as we have done now. And that is because of the virtual reality that we have, and we can reach out to a wider audience. And now I'll move on to the welcome by our Deputy Hall Chairman, Mr. Steve Nelson. The floor is yours, Mr. Nelson.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to night 2 of our Youth Empowerment Conference here at Chancellor Hall. For those who are returning and who were with us last night, you know that we had a very awesome time and are looking forward to even greater things in this session. Now, as we progress, if you are a new member of this very groundbreaking forum, trust me, a lot is in store. We want to take the time out to welcome everybody who has joined us tonight, from the MANs, the super seniors, our hall committee members, and those from the wider US space. We're grateful that you're here with us and trust that you will indeed have an awesome time tonight.
Thank you for that message, Mr. Hall Chairman Stephen Nelson. And I know that I'm here to have fun and learn tonight, and I know that you guys are as well. So go on into the comments, let us know what exactly do you expect for tonight, and let us know. And for tonight, we have a very, very special guest speaker, and he is no other than Mr. Oshane Grant. Mr. Grant is a Chancellor, man of check. He is the former team president, and I'm sure that at the end of the night, each person here would have left empowered and learned a lot. So, with further ado, I'll welcome Mr. Grant.
for tonight is no other than Mr. Oshane Grant. Mr. Grant is a former guild president, he's a chancellor, a man of check, and I'm sure that at the end of the night, he would have left feeling empowered. And without further ado, we'll now have a video before from Mr. Oshane Grant.
We are from Chancellor, the mighty Chancellor, the brave lion, that's who we are. The black and gold is burning in our soul, the lion will reign forever. We are from Chancellor, the mighty Chancellor, the brave lion, that's who we are. The black and gold is burning in our soul, the lion will reign forever.
Not have the 11,000 to invest, but what you have to invest, you have to be willing to invest it, and you have to take the risk. And we spoke a lot about single parent also, spoke a lot about fathers being absent. The biggest way to fix all of that is ensure, say, we get jobs, we have money. Don't go start no family if you don't have no money.
Good evening, everyone. Khaled, let me know if it is that everything is clear to go, everybody is hearing me clearly, and I won't be talking just to myself, and I can see that person is actually here. Because I'm not so good with technology because of age. So, good evening again. My name is Oshane Agent 069 Grant. So, for all of the mans them were present, current mans and the super seniors that are present, good evening as well. As Chancellor, right? Well, let me first say, while I was watching that video and I saw Brando Bees, Jughead, and I'm like, yo, I saw all the brother, I saw all the man that was ages, but that was some time ago. But I feel like I wanted to cheer, I wanted to chant, and I used to love the chanting business, mash up the back, make it nice. And it was a part of being alive, being a member of the fraternity. Now, 5 blocks, 1 hall. They say it's the most toxic space on campus. It's the most hyper-masculine space on campus. Number of those different things we have to debunk and we have to understand differently. So, at the moment, the discussion this evening, we're supposed to be looking at creating men for tomorrow. So, they start a man who want to create tomorrow. So, if it is that way, we're going to think about that. We have to first understand what sort of man we have now, and is it that there's an issue with the sort of men we have in our society now? And if there is an issue, that means that we need to create something going forward. If it is that there is no issue, then we don't need to think about the sort of men we are going forward. Now, I'm smart to change up my name and I say Mr. Oshane Grant. Because I'm here saying is that discussion with the man is on the lines. So a long time I don't put my name on, so I see why me can't use my name Agent 0069. A long time I don't use my name, brother. So different from that still. So what we have now that we have men who beat women, we have men that are poor fathers that are not present. We have violent men. We have men that don't care anything about their health. And some of us only start caring about their health when we start getting very old. And that moment is most times little too late. Now, Barry Shevans, and we don't want to get the conversations too academic. Barry Shevans wrote a book, Becoming a Man, and what it means to be a man and how you that to create a man. Now, man must have enough y'all on y'all in a bungle, y'all from. So a part of it, and every chance right now that say if you want to get Piper or Junior Piper or some of us sad case, creature pipe up. You must have a chop, you must have a lash. You and them girls have to go on with things. So that's a part of how we create masculinity, you see me? So a part of it is that a part of high masculinity and heteronormative behavior is that you have girl, you have enough of that. But it's not every single man in society construct for the masculinity way. Some man only want one, some man maybe don't want none. Now, what currently happens according to Shepard is that young men, young boys in Jamaica get exposed very early because they're trying to create and construct that sort of masculinity that society has asked them to form for themselves. We call it heteronormativity. Now, we're not getting at the whole of a big word thing. We are going to start from the point of view that what we accept as masculinity in Jamaica is something that we inherited as a result of the plantation structures. Now, many persons are going to tell us, say, yo, but in plantation, everybody does a slave. No. You have some man who, for their main purposes, they just breed up people in data, and then you have people who have that same mentality on the plantation in a today's society. But their job is just to disturb. So part of the conversation we want to say is that when it is that we're creating the men tomorrow, we don't say, yeah, go stop flash, we don't go stop look a girl, and we don't say, go stop be promiscuous. But you have to accept then that you want to be the man in the future that you are more than just your penis. You're more than just a piper. You're more than just somebody that can have 20 girls. And when you accept that, and if you decide to say, oh, you're going to live the life there, we have become sort of sensitive now to say, oh, yeah, woman want to live a life there as well. So, as many it comes to acceptance. And when we say, yo, be more than just a penis, you can be the only thing that you contribute to the conversation, and the only thing you do for the hall is to make up a bag of nights and wear symphonies coming out of your room. What does that mean? It means that you're not supposed to fight. We're staying. You also need to be responsible. So we want to create responsible men that are capable to say that I don't need to conform to. Oh, I was thinking, I thought myself to me. Remember, we don't want to conform to the notion that people believe so the only thing good for is just to fight. No, a large part of it is that number of men don't go to university. Why we don't go to university? Why most men stop go to school at age 14, 15? Reason being for that is they learn say you can make money other way. I can make money that way. Most of the other way can make money illegitimate. So what you want is that you need to create an environment for men that we realize that we need to get something up yourself, and the more educated the better is be for society on a whole. Because a society that is educated don't have rampant crime and violence happening. So those societies don't lose a large majority of their resources as a result of crime and violence. Jamaica, on the other hand, lose a significant portion of our resources as a result of crime and violence. How does that connect to masculinity and man going forward? All right. If you look on somebody like Dr. Imani Tafari Ama, Tafari tells you that crime in Jamaica attracts plenty of women, and majority of the crime in Jamaica committed by men. So if a man does most of the crime, that means man are the reason why the resources of the society go down. The biggest resource any society have is human resource. So if you can't keep a human resource and strengthen a human resource and allow a human resource to develop, to flourish in the society, in a problem. So the man know who feel like say, yo, like earlier we're playing some music and you know the beat and everything you go and vibe, but sometimes you want to stop and listen to the words and listen to what you're actually vibing to. So a large thing is that we say, yo, you have to be a bad man and gunshot in your face. And no, brother, a part of constructing the ideal man for tomorrow and for the next 10 years. And now you see we're in a crisis that is not just going to damage the health sector, but it's also going to damage the economy significantly, which means we're heading to a global recession. So if it is that we are going to take up the gun and just go and help COVID kill off each other, then we're in a difficult position. We need to ensure as well that we start accepting that violence does not denote masculinity, and aggression does not denote masculinity. There was a time black eye was known as the dark side. If you're not dark, if you're not rough, if you're not tough, if you can't head out hot, aka one speed, you can't live over there. There are persons who believe that when lions start buzzing, we not have no sense. We are going to beat up people, people. No. So we need to change. We need people to start understanding that we are not that. We are not violent people. And we, the university students, and those of us that have been exposed to some level of addiction, need to then cultivate this in society to say that, yeah, we're not supporting anything. So one of the things that we need to do is not just like in another 4 or 5 days about, because on the 25th of November we'll start 10 days of activism against violence against women. Now, I'm going to tell you, you should totally be against violence against women. But the next thing as well, big up Ponce, run to Ponce. The next thing you need to understand as well is you're not only going to be a man against violence against women, you're going to be a man against violence totally. You're going to be against all sorts of violence. You're going to be against violence against women and girls. You're going to be a man against violence against other men in society. And you're going to be a man against society who society by definition consider lesser men. So I would sometimes take into that and call it heteronormativity and hegemonic masculinity. So based on hegemonic masculinity, society are in such a way them say, yo, the more stronger persons are going to lead society and they're going to need. But most people make it feel like hegemony is just man dominate woman. But hegemony can also be men who have access to resources and particular amount of power dominate and rule and lord over other man because they believe like that man they are weakling. What you want to do is go and change that going forward. You want youth to start realizing you who go to school and it's a free book who might just that English, who might behave even effeminate. Even a man will be completely effeminate, you still don't have the right to push violence towards him. In fact, the best way to create an ideal man going forward is teaching respect. Respecting every single individual within society is very, very important. And as Lions, most of the things I want to respect. Let me tell you this. As Lions, we have not only led the university, we have also led the gate of students, we have led the campus, we have the larger university, we lead Jamaica, we lead the Caribbean. Those of you who are not Lions, go to our dining room and look on our boards. We are leaders. But here, we need to start translate beyond just what's on the board. At the Monday to the hall many years ago. A time for the new set of leaders, the Arches, the Sujays, and various other persons to start doing things in society that allow for their names in the future to be edged on those boards. And Monday never walk and respect people. The Monday respect people. So respect is a very big part of how it is they're going to construct things going forward. I will talk about being completely against violence. And next is that International Men's Day this year, we are looking for health. We want to ensure that we have healthy men and we have healthy boys. That come into play. Before, on campus, especially on Chancellor Hall, a man who, a brother did show himself, a brother didn't go to school, a brother didn't drink too much rum, a too much weed, various other things came into the space as well. And like some man had chip that. I see some man start behaving like a CEO, some screws start get loose and things get plugged out. One big man head as well as me, but here what it now. There are mans within this case who feel like the only thing they can do to contribute to helping that brother is laughing at that brother or having a conversation at the line bench instead of saying, yo, I go carry my brother go back to the center. But sometimes you don't need somebody to take you, to the water and go and get help, Sometimes you have to just realize that something is not right and something is not acting the way it ought supposed to at this moment. So where you go? As man, most time, you don't want to go see a doctor. I mean, we don't talk about when you get cold and one time you feel like you get cut or your foot block up or we don't talk about them little things there. Sometimes depression, mental health is a very, very important thing. But sometimes a man tell us, you can't tell him, I know. Say, you go over counseling session over health center. One, you go look like a weakling. What you go counseling go do? Counseling for mad people. Want your youth, you're weakling. You don't want the sherms. You don't want that. What we want to start promoting is that we are going to start look on the brothers and say, yo, you know something right? Something not going right in their life right now. No. You're not going to laugh. You're not going to make fun of it. You're going to take that person to the health center. You're going to recommend for the person to the health center. Why is that important? You see, when up are healthy, when up are fit and ready for purpose and ready to serve, everything else will fall into place. So we don't want to pressure our brother them we go through them little things and make feel like I said they are less. They are not less. And as man, people always use it as some kind of cliche thing. It's okay for men to cry. Nothing is wrong if men cry. But some of the same brother them, and if some of the girl them who they tell us say nothing wrong if man ball. You gotta ball and see what. Them gonna tell us say, yeah, wailing, brother. But you don't want that to happen. So we need to start promoting a culture where it's okay for men to express themselves in particular ways. It's okay for men to go to the health center. Not just get some condom, but to go there to say, right now, we need this mental space. Now, depression is a real thing. People can dead from depression. People can dead from stress. I've seen it on the campus before. I've seen it on the hall before, where some man get cheap. Mr. Man walk up and down in a scandal bag. Mr. Man, there are people winning. Mr. Man chip out completely. Have carry man go to hospital. But most times we didn't have to get to that point. But instead, what we did is that we sat on the lineman bench, and that is where we took the counseling. That was the counseling we gave. That was the help we gave. So in the future, we want to make ourselves so sensitive in a point where we can say, "Yo, it's okay for him to go to that. It's okay to take a brother there. We're going to start this." So mental health, and not mental health, I mean, say you're mad. Stress, and mental illness. Depression, you have various stages. And if you don't treat with these things in the early stages, then it's going to become very difficult. And the issue of health as well, you're going to know, say, yo, things like condom usage. You see, here, the youth look at you, because I'm a resident advisor, I'm a to a youth, yo, dog, you never pop off in a girl yet. And me I listen and me I say, yo, oh, this means I don't know a big man because he never pop off in a girl yet. You never have unprotected sex yet. And me like how this year team structured where we are talking about health. Because health doesn't just say, yo, you're fit, you know. Although the physical fitness is very, very important, very, very important. The physical fitness can actually help your mental strength to be stronger, you see me? But at the same time, you need to practice some sex as well. I know no man get 5 per year or junior 5 per year. But because you know, say, yo, maybe that you want for yourself, you have to protect yourself. And you have to understand, so when you protect yourself as well, you have to protect those around you as well. I say you have to start about it. And nothing wrong, we don't talk about it, say you can go to the health center to get attention for up yourself. But nothing wrong if you go to the health center, how much are we know with blood type? How much are we even understand where we blood pressure being a regular? Say, go to a doctor and them say, oh, your blood pressure, they say, but me always have this, and me always a read. How much are we even know if we're diabetic? How much are we even go do a regular checkup? And them things that we have to start thinking about. Because present man, and most of them preaching them, some of them are some old brother too. Them man they don't know that business, brother. Them man they consider that a weekly business. We have to change that. As so comes to look half of the people, half of the good, and most of them are dead. And we know we touch past the mental part of it already, we have mental health. Majority of the people who commit suicide in the world, if 5 people commit suicide today in the world, 4 of those individuals that committed suicide are men. What that means? It means that women are finding ways of dealing with stress, dealing with depression. We know, no brother, we don't know if we deal with them things. All we do is just buckle it up and then explore. When I explore now, just say, you know what, me take me 3 points and call it a day. You don't want to get to that stage either. You want to get to a stage where you say, you know, based on my health, based on where my age and I need to check out my colon. I need to change my eating habits. You need to have men that are serious about them health. Not only serious about whether or not the penis can function for later on when time little catechol link you from across the road. You need to think about that as well. The next thing is that because we don't want to want to take some question as well. So every chance I right, meanwhile at least, want to be father. Most of we never know what kind of father we want to be. You just know say you want to be one father, you want to procreate, you want to have a youth. But then you want a son. Why you want a son? You want your son to live at Chancellor too, you want your son shell with this man your daughter. So we have to think about not only how we are going to enjoy our youth, but the other fathers that we want to be going forward. Now, I don't know me I said it's a clip when we never have no year at all for me head and daytime and I did very slim. And I was having this conversation since then that really and truly only if a society change outside of education and the social reconstructions that will happen, the next best thing that we have is to ensure that we create men, just a few good men in society, make everything different. Few good men who aren't afraid to laugh, love, cry, provide, pamper, protect. When we decide that those are the qualities that we want for ourselves as fathers, then we are prepared and ready to be fathers. Because really and truly, you know, whether or not your father, son, or your father, daughter, your father, your father, a human being that's expected to contribute to the growth and development of society. But you want them just so them can contribute positively and then have to come and try to share with everybody. You want, but how you do that? You have to start it from within you. You have to start planning that. So me I run things. So my son is not to only come home with a paper, a letter that says we have parent teachers meeting, and then automatically give the mother because I'm mother go a parent teachers meeting. You don't want to create an environment where your son only talks to his mother about particular things. You want to have an environment where your son knows that, yo, daddy now miss my report day. You want to create an environment where you did it to help him with his homework. And you can have particular conversations. You not say to yourself, well, my 14 now, you need to lose him virginity. That's another of the things that you try to construct. You're trying to construct an excellent human being that is ready to lead and aid in society. Now, as the Cersei is here, Cersei is know how the whole thing started. Because me did very dark when me just move as a Chancellor. Very, very dark. But through the little education, little cub session and it, me start the announce life function. Now, we are going to put everything in our neat little package. And we're going to sum the conversation as to the fathers that we want society to have. So we are going to deconstruct for the last time masculinity. Now we are going to talk about disabled masculinity. Now, when we talk about disabled masculinity, we're not talking about man who have disability. We are talking about men in society that don't fit into everybody's stereotypical notion of who is a man. One, we need to stop saying to people, man up. Because when we tell people man up, most time feel like we are telling them say they must become aggressive and be brutish towards people. So if you are going to tell somebody to man, make sure you tell them say, yo, focus on your book. Get a job. Make sure say you're healthy, mentally, physically, and spiritually. When I say man up, you are telling him say be respectful to everybody, all genders in society, everybody. That man up for me. If it is that your man up means to just go be rough and crude and disrespectful, and the person don't need to do no man up business. Person is perfectly fine. What we are gonna do going forward is recognize that my version of masculinity and me being rough, deep voice, and thuggish. But RJ's version of masculinity is a bit more refined, a bit more polished, it don't mean that the person is less a man. And the perfect place we start in at the university at Chancellor Hall. Because people think we're the worst things in sliced bread. And we need to start promoting the individuals within the space that are not so they might have something to contribute. And I leave you with an example, a young man that we call Wastebrook. Now, I don't know how many of you know Wastebrook. You know why that man get the name? We did and we say the man can't play no sport. Man live catch a ball, brother. Bastos and I carry him to the kitchen. The boy most can help out with the cooking. Man can't do that, brother. So this man is a waste of brother. So get on the name. We expect him to be one weak link. We're not expecting him to last the whole academic year. Let me tell you what end up happening. And him not changing Christian views. None at all. He was the first to be inducted. Everybody has said it. And then WB ran for Gill to become humanities rep. And he teaches now. I graduated from a master's now. But them man they yes at first sight I saw them money lion. But them man they are some of the strongest and bravest lion I know, and many like him stole a thief from overrun sea. We need to start accepting people for who they are. And if you're comfortable with the sort of masculine expressions that you have, then keep it. But if it is that your version of masculine expression is going to make other persons uncomfortable and it's going to make other persons feel they're at risk or they're in danger, then you need to check yourself. Cool? Man, them, it's going to be a wonderful, Minister Tufton's presentation last night. But I like what I'm seeing. It's been some time now that we have wanted for the hall not to just be where we go and play some ball, drink some rum, sex some girl, but a space where we can have these conversations and deconstruct why we behave the way we behave, why we drink so much rum, why we sing so much, why that this is all part of how we construct our shells as men in society and as leaders of this campus. And not just the gate, but the whole university, more than everybody else. Pay respect, treating everybody, pay respect to us. They pay homage to the black and gold. We must recognize that it means something, and it's a very powerful position that you're holding in this society. To call yourself an Chancellor, to call yourself a lion, and ensure that at all times and everything that you do it respectfully, understanding that people are different. We can take some questions. No question. I'm a thing. Karel, my back brother. We are my the brave Lord.
Greetings. We're here, man.
I'm ready to feel our vibes, you know. Any question?
We're checking the chat for the questions posted to Sir Grant. All right, we're seeing one coming up. All right, so your first question is from Mr. Javain Brown, from resident of Black Eye. And his question is, all right, the question reads, what inspired you to go student leadership?
All right. One, I was always involved in student leadership. from high school when I was head boy, senior prefect, and all the gyms. So when I came to university, Farfetch, I actually started out as EAC, completed only one event, and I got an award for Ethic of the Year. No, that's not something good. And things weren't falling into place. So I realized my schoolwork wasn't doing so good. I'm not doing anything with my portfolio. The only thing that is going on good in my life is my little volleyball. So for a while, even though I tell myself I took time off from student leadership, the man them did actually regulate me still. I mean, when I run for GCC, came on Lindsay and Stetson Rodney and Baba Backsheep and Leron Baffling. They said, oh, I can't run because me after the year for EAC, me go break away the portfolio. So I took my time off. And I realized that I've always been one of the leaders on the hall until an opportunity came to serve as GDC, and persons say, oh, you play volleyball so you can do the sport. But then my organizational skills came out and everything started falling into place. Of course, I have motivation and persons that would inspire me and say to me, say, oh, I can do X, Y, and Z. Sir Sims has always been there before me even get the scholarship to play ball, before me even drink up on the game. And used to always say, Oshane, you can do this, you can do X, Y, and Z. Gerard, one of the man them who did say, oh, you can do it. Man like soccer, so say you can do it. So it has not been something for like me to say, oh, I got this great impetus from somebody. It's something that I've always been interested in, I've always been doing. I don't want to say on the back and say, oh, I'm very good at it. I learned along the way. I learned from people. I learned particular things from particular leaders on the campus. Pick up bits and pieces of leadership skills from Teran. I saw what Teran do. I did, and I said I want to do a piece of that. I took a piece of Leron Baffling. Even though Lindsay is my political rival, it's one of my brothers that I probably respect the most. So I learned a lot of things from Kemo Campbell. So I stole a lot from him. I stole a lot of things from Baba Backsheet. And then I said, I'm going to package myself in this way now. And there's this young lady, Laverne King. I don't know how many know Laverne. So I took pieces of Laverne as well. And I said, all right, these are the student leaders on campus that I look up to. And I put basically the different pieces of them together, package them and made it access granted and made it the student leader that I was. And that has heavily impacted the leader and person I am now in society.
Okay, thank you for that answer.
Who you were as an individual.
Yes, you have a next question here from Mr. Mikhail Treasure. Describe who you were as an individual. Before Chancellor, then please ask the Chancellor.
Right. Before I started, not so easy because I probably was maybe one of the most sex person. I maybe was one of the most toxic person. I started knowing what it means to be a man from my friends who were in a gang with. So I don't even look like I could cuss to clap properly. I don't even look like I can clap a fly. But that is how my version of masculinity started from a gang. And then eventually, when I dropped out of that high school, I had to sum it up. At high school. At age 13, I used to walk with my spliff, drink rum, jump the fence from school from 11 o'clock and after that, brother. It wasn't supposed to be for me. And then I went back to school while I went to States. At States is where things really started to take shape. At States, when I was getting ready to go into grade 11 and announcing devotion that I'm supposed to go and meet with X person at X time, I didn't go because I heard those were the persons that were going to be prefects. So there's no way I could be a prefect because I must mistake. So then I learned it wasn't a mistake. I went to the training and the leadership workshop sessions for the school. And that is how it started. When I did CXE, I did 8. And with all the things that were happening in my life, me only passed 4. And me passed heart, electrical, then say me have 5 subjects. I wanted to stop at that moment. I was already older than most persons in my class anyways because I repeated grade 9. My principal said he's going to give me another shot at this against me and said must come back to school. So I repeat grade 11. So you know, said I'm in school 2 years beyond my time. I repeated grade 11. I did 6 subjects more. Only repeat maths and do 5 new subjects. At the 6 of them. Even though I'm convinced because the pivotal thing that I answer comes to me past. I think it influenced the grade. But maybe the 6 of them. Then it became a thing now where it's time to go to 6th form. When I got to 6th form, I retained my pre badge and I repeated anyways. When I got to 6th form, I was asked to serve as head boy. All right, I did that. Then I realized I'm really older than everybody else, you know. So them say, oh, you can't be head boy next year, but you want to be head boy? So I say, because I never want to do front of myself. I say, I'm an old man, and people already talking nice. I say, how long now you're there? So I told the prefect. So that was basically before chance and how everything structured and how everything happened that made me sort of give me sort of some grounding and footing. I did my years on Chancellor. It taught me a number of lessons. After Chancellor, life after Chancellor is where I would say the whole package, access granted, really changed face, changed shape, behavior, language. So it was no longer a case where I'm afraid to have partner conversations, even not have conversations on any topic, any issue, any time, because of the lived experiences and Chancellor and the whole tough it had, it made me and the support structure that I had leaving Chancellor. I can do something like this. I can start growing and realize it. You don't want it. We can't go through the little small locks, so me I go buy some other locks and put on my one and I go live like that. Somebody else, you know, say, yo, Grant, I can extend the book, but me know say, yo, I'm confident in my masculinity. So me no worry about them things there. Sometimes it's story like me a feminist. And what it means to be a feminist, especially as a Chancellorite. Or you do that, or you're a Chancellorite and you're a feminist. Or you say things where I go make some of the man vex while allowing them to understand that these things need to be said and these persons need to be respected and people need to be treated in X way or Y way. So it gave me that sort of grounding too. And most times it is where I go back to my belief structure. So like something like heteronormativity. So I say your society say yo, everybody must be straight. Even though you know say you want to say your Grant you straight like an arrow. If I'm good, I don't bash people, and I'm one of those people that say everybody should be treated fair and everybody treated equally. And when I do that knowing that I have brothers who are saying, how can I foolish them things they grant to talk about? But I need them to understand now that I really am truly brother and whole we all live in a world, other people live in a world too. So after Chancellor, I was stronger. After Chancellor, I knew more. I had more to contribute. I could go into any space and I'm proud of it. When I go into a space and I hear somebody say, oh, I say, you so to you, and them say, where is that? And say, oh, I'm Chancellorite. I never used to live Chancellorite. And it has a particular ring to it. And I say, as I said earlier, when you think about the boards, and I think what most of us have failed to do is that we just look on the boards and be, yo, brother, them I did live a brother, but it's not supposed to serve for that. It's supposed to serve as inspiration and motivation to become great men, to become great leaders, me even greater some of those men themselves. And as a result of After Chance, I'm already positioning myself to not just be Oshane Grant, former Guild president. It's supposed to eventually translate to become Dr. Oshane Grant and then eventually become Professor Oshane Grant. And maybe politics will take me one day and say MD or maybe the minister. And I think that I'm the perfect lion suited for that job.
Okay, thank you very much for that response, Mr. Grant. I'm sure that each person who is now on the live will have learned a lot from your presentation tonight. And I want to thank you very much on behalf of the Chancellor Hall fraternity for taking your time out to spend it with us here tonight, Mr. Grant.
The pleasure is all mine actually. I go and give one of my jerseys because half of my jerseys, most of them I gave them all to Cadell so that they can live on and live beyond me in the space. But I held on to this one that I got from a super senior, a man called Rawsu Nigel. And I don't ever plan part with this one. So the pleasure is all mine. I'm always available to participate and converse with the man and share my knowledge and share my experiences and to help the man understand the things. Don't necessarily have to be any conversation with my discipline, gender and development, but I also history. It's a vast set of things, and Mr. Sims knows exactly what to find me and Cadell. So man, I love the initiative. I love what is happening here. Keep it up and ensure that you guys have a productive week.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grant. All the best, sir. Okay, guys, so we'll now move on to a very short music break. So please stay tuned. Okay, guys, thanks for staying. And I want to note that our sponsor for tonight is the Portrait Place. Go ahead and give them a follow on Instagram at the Portrait Place _. You can send them an image that you want, and their digital artists will take care of it. And we're glad to have them on board. And my DJ saying that we're gonna drop another song for you guys.
A chance, yeah, to show them what we can do. Ooh. You didn't get to cry, you the pressure high. Not a mother ball, not a structure fly. You me get a ball before me get a blind. Could we take a life, Mr. Death and I. You didn't do the rough, but you better try. No giving up, I mean never lie. Put my back on the wall, nobody feeling pan. Hide pain in the drugs, that's why me ever high. Yeah, the soldier might have stumbled, but we never die. Man, I'm king in the jungle, hold me head up high. When me daddy gone, watch your mother cry. No bedtime story, no lullaby. My life turn and friend turn me ask Jaja why. No put my trust in a woman, you know them get a lie. Like me split and cut my money, cause just got an eye. Father, make a breeze, so all we need is just a chance to show them what we can do. Ooh, ooh, all we need is just a chance to show them what we can do. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, you the made out of steel, solid. We never change up for real. One love.
Six. I mean, I say automatic. Fly it. Yo, one life. 2 face fake on the both sides. 3 points of it take for me survive. 4 day and a hide. Back then in a cash pot me a 5. Now 6 out here, man alive. 7 times fall, many times rise. Start make money, don't hate me for mines. Top, full them on 9 binds. My scheme, one place 10s every time. Feds can't meet me. Parallel lines, Mackie 11 and page on the hillside. Gone back a cash pot to the 13, my blind. 14 parishes, me see too much signs. Me at 15, me start pre-crime. The sweet 16 and a birthday style, yo, my dog. I get too much chance, you know, count my blessings. Too much chance.
Thank you, Mr. DJ. And I heard you said that all we need is just a chance, but here is your chance to win some credit. So the first person who can tell us, my producer just told me that it's time to give away something, and we want to know the first person who can tell us the last 4 Cubs president will win a $200 credit. So go ahead, let us know in the chat. Let us know the last 4 Cubs president, your chance to win some credit. Okay, and while we are waiting, just want to make note of our sponsor, the Portrait Place. So you guys can turn out tomorrow and you can definitely win one of 2 portraits that are sponsored by the Portrait Place. 2 small portraits where you can send them your image and they'll ensure that you get the exact quality that you want. And I'm here looking in the chat. Yes, so my producer basically picked the winner. And we want to say thank you to everyone who actually tuned in tonight to our Youth Empowerment Conference. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night as we have Mr. Courtney Campbell, the CEO of the VM Group. The topic for tomorrow is wealth creation and wealth management. So I expect to see you guys to gain even more knowledge. I thank you. Mr. DJ.
Come on. The production team.